Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Solio Analytics podcast. This is Pras, and we have had a very long but restful international break. Are you rested, Johnny?
A bit rested, yeah. I mean, we've got another one in a month's time, so people can not have to worry too much if they're not well rested yet. There'll be more rest. Next year we'll have it all in one go. I think it's all three. It's like
3 weeks rest.
One big 3 week rest, yeah. I mean, I think for a lot of England fans, the England friendlies and qualifiers are not super interesting, but for a lot of people, the international breaks are actually where the games are more important. So I've been watching the Scotland games, against Belarus and Greece, and 2 wins, but both terrible performances. So I feel more stressed than anything. A few people asked actually in the comments, where am I from, or trying to place my accent. So I've got family from Scotland. I live in Edinburgh, so that's why I'm supporting Scotland while I'm here. England fan too.
Your allegiances to Scotland, I hear. But have you grown up in Scotland as well?
So I grew up in Northumberland, so we're just south of the border. But all my family's up here. So we were up quite a lot and watched a lot of Scottish rugby at Murrayfield. So yeah, I think Scotland don't play England super often, so I don't get stuck in the who to support. And actually, supporting the underdog's more fun. I like to do that, as you'll see in my fantasy playstyle. But
so in a world where you're this amazing defensive midfielder that England needs, you're coming through the ranks, you're 22 years old, and you're making a choice. McTominay already plays for Scotland. Do you choose England, or do you not want to answer?
I mean, it wasn't football, but I actually made this decision when I was younger. We've gone very off topic straight off the bat, but I suppose
that's all right. It's international break.
I used to do athletics when I was younger, and my dad and my uncle both ran for Scotland. My uncle was in the Commonwealth Games, so I think Scotland is my international sporting allegiance. But yeah, I still support England. I still, grew up in England, went to university in England. Will support England at the World Cup. Unlike most other Scots who will get their Latvia tops out or whatever.
The other players.
yeah. Quick, get the Sweden. I think it was Colombia and Sweden on their World Cup run.
They were on their they had flags up on the windows. I find this behavior
anti-England stuff is funny.
As somebody who's now lived in England for 15 years, but only 15 years.
Yeah.
I still find that odd, but I'm not going to get into this. Let's get to the topic that we are here to discuss, which is two non-Semenyo owners talking about FPL is what we're here to talk about.
Well, since I do so like supporting the underdog, then let's go for no Semenyo. He's everyone's favourite. It is funny sort of seeing the narrative when he's very good. I think we're going to have all these caveats that we don't own him, but we think he's good, and we might have bought him, but now we don't have him, and he's not obvious, and
he's practicing shooting now. Did you hear?
He's started shooting. He learns how to shoot. Professional footballer.
He's practicing now.
Yeah,
so it's good.
It's reminding me of the clip in The Simpsons where Mr. Burns gets all the pro players for the power plant baseball team, and he's coaching them obviously, and he just says, "You there, Strawberry, hit a home run." Then he does. He's like, "I told him to do that." It's like, wow, great, yeah. So we're going to be very derisory of anyone who's bought Antoine Semenyo, but.
Which I will do.
Which you'll do now,
The theme of this podcast, coming back to topic, is my wildcard. I am on wildcard. I've been thinking for 10 days now. So you're going to help me with, am I overthinking or am I underthinking or can I think more? So what
do you feel
we will present
it
is...
peaks after a week and then you start making
I think it does. But now I'm pretty much set on 3 things, 3 structures, which are different, but also there's about 3 players different. So we think it's very different, and we will present it like double Arsenal defense, double Arsenal attack, Salah and Haaland wildcard. Those are the 3 that we have. But it's really just 4 players that I'm changing around in all of them. So tell me if I'm missing anything, and we'll talk about all of these things.
That's always the way it is.
If you wildcard in a different window, then maybe not, because I think Saka's a bit of a differential now. I think Timber's a bit of a differential. Eze could be a bit of a differential. Salah could be a bit of a differential.
Yeah, you can get to all the players you want in one go. Kind of what the wildcard is, rather than sitting there going, I'd quite like this guy to fit in, but he's not worth the transfer, or I want to swap those around.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see what you've I say landed on, but we've got 3 to discuss. When are you going to? When do you lock it in? Do you lock it in on Friday, or do you lock it in? There's no Friday
Saturday
game.
morning.
Saturday
Saturday morning.
morning.
You see,
Still
the thing
waking
is,
up and tinkering and
there's still the potential to eke out a zero point 0.1 or 0.2 team value
yeah.
on a Friday night, which could be because I've got Burn who could double rise. I've got Saka who could double rise, and Saka is not 100% locked. If I go for the Salah structure, for example, Voltemade could double rise. So there are things here that could give me extra team value, which means everything could change again, and suddenly Salah Haaland becomes optimal because I have this 0.3 power that I can use to get another midfielder that I like, or
I think
whatever.
it does show you how close some of these are, and actually, we'll discuss these 3 different structures. There's others that look quite different. I'm sure you could make a Salah Haaland-less team that is still pretty good. Like, I think I'd definitely want one of them, but I'd imagine they're not too far away. So if you want to do something really silly, you wake up on Saturday morning and you're fed up, I'm gonna do something crazy. Here we go. Take them both out, make it all worse. Yeah, fair enough.
No, I think team value as such, like just a little bit of a meta point, like under 5 million defenders, there's plenty of good options. So you don't need to go too expensive in your defense. If you talk about midfielders, like the midfielders, apart from Bruno, like nobody over 8 million is so essential that you need to have them. So there's a lot of midfielders in this 5 to 7 million bracket that you can have. So now you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well as your striker, penalty-taking striker, who we'll talk about. So I think value is there to pretty much go with any structure you want.
Have you found the budget constraining as you've been building the draft? I know sometimes you start tinkering around and you just keep finding that you're 500,000 short of the one that you want. But
honestly, I'm comfortable.
Sometimes you're like, I need to do another upgrade. I've got 2 million left.
Had I not used my bench boost, maybe that would have been the case. But
that's true.
Because all my drafts will feature one
forward.
Essential player, which is Chido Obi from Man United.
He is
the guy. He's the guy who makes it all come together, which we will talk about when we get to the drafts. But let's talk about the structure first. Shall we go through like my thought process, how I built the drafts?
Yes. So we've got your tree, your Solio tree.
My Solio tree, which no one is going to be able to read.
No,
but that's not the point.
Illustrative
the
purposes
point is,
only. Yes,
exactly.
I could have just got a photo of a tree. I suppose you could have done that. I do find Andy mocks me whenever I'm sort of posting some of my stuff, and he's like, "How many branches have you made?" It does take a bit of time to solve, but essentially, you can talk through it. But there's 3 different prongs that you've built out here to.
3 big branches, which is branch number 1. So you see, people who use Solio a lot will see this. There's a little bit of a wrench on the top right of some of these branches or nodes, which are ones that indicate that I've made changes for my beliefs. And we can talk through some of these things. I think some that come to the top of my mind are, for example, Sanchez. I felt his numbers were a little low. I think Chelsea's clean sheet prospects are good, so I upped him a little bit. Minte, I'm very high on. So when I looked at Paqueta's numbers and I looked at Minte's numbers, I felt, what, I'm not gonna get Paqueta now and then move to Minte later. I'm just gonna get Minte now. So I moved him a little bit. Bruno, I brought down a little bit to get some confirmation bias that he's not essential. So you have to put things in there. But I'll talk about Bruno in a bit actually, because he's important. On why I don't have him in any of the drafts.
So do you find, when you come to those edits, because obviously this is stuff that we can do in the tool, is I can make Brighton way better or Chelsea way better. Is that something that you've already come in and you look at the numbers from scratch, or do you try and plan it out and go, it's picking this guy and I'm not sure on him, I'll see how close he is to the next person and whether I believe in that sort of comparative view, or what's your starting
so the
point?
easy way to do it is to lock and ban players, which I used to do when I used to engage analytics a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Now I tend to say, if I up this guy, to what level do I need to up him to get him closer? So for example, Mint is a good one. I try to see, because his XG numbers are really good. So how far do I need to push his XG overall? So I didn't change Brighton's team strength, which maybe I could have done it that way. But I went to the player level and I said, let me up his XG. It wasn't too much that I had to increase to get him closer to a Paqueta. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I can believe this. And so I got him The benchmark here was Paqueta, that let's get him similar
Yeah.
to those numbers, and it was not too much. In Sanchez's case, I was looking at Rhea over the next 4-5 game weeks, and I was like, look, clean sheet odds look not that different. I mean, Arsenal are much better, but there should be not a 4 EV gap or a 3 EV gap between them in the next 4-5 weeks only. So I thought, is there a level? So actually, Sanchez was easy. The minutes were what I had to adjust, and now I don't believe Sanchez plays every single minute. But I felt let's see, and if it doesn't work, he's benched in a certain game. I don't want to plan for a bench. I'll say if he is benched,
but it's more likely that he plays all of them than he plays 85 minutes of every game. Like that's
correct.
He's not going to be
so that was the
for 5 minutes to go in every match.
Correct. And in the case of Sanchez, you'll see in one of my drafts, I found a really cool rotation with Verbruggen. So even if Sanchez is benched, then I've got Verbruggen. I don't have a Dubravka, home to, Liverpool or something. It's actually a good keeper who will be playing. And if that happens to be a week where, Verbruggen has a good game as well, I didn't feel I needed to adjust Sanchez so much, especially if I have a good able keeper. So these are just two examples that came to my mind. There were probably others. I will talk about them as they come. I felt like Richards has been the guy who's been, Solio's been really good at, and I feel like he's the guy whose numbers, actually I had to look again, that is his DEFCON potential as good, if not better than Lacroix? But then the numbers so far this season show that he's actually pretty good. It's his minutes which you need to have a leap of faith on. So I think those are the ones that come to the top of my mind. But let me continue with the process. So the wrenches that I've talked about are in the first branch, so the one you see at the top, and the second branch. So the one I have easiest to talk about is branch number 3. Branch number 3 is just the Solio recommended wildcard, no adjustments. I wanted to see how far apart is my wildcard to that. So
it gives you a benchmark,
Exactly. So if you look at just raw numbers, 58.4 is a wildcard 8 Solio. Now this changes, right? I did this 2 days ago and screenshotted it. My beliefs, the other two where I'm changing beliefs, I come to about 57.8 or 56. So I'm giving up about 1.5 EV, which just in game week 8. But I'm making up some of it in future weeks. So I'm not too worried, because ultimately what I'm saying is in the Solio version, I don't agree with everything in terms of how it is projecting. So I'm okay with that kind of a thing. If the differences were 5 or 6 EV, then I really need to check myself and what am I doing wrong, or am I fundamentally saying that these Solio guys don't know what they're doing? So that was the first thing. So the third branch is the easiest to understand. All the 3 branches have one simple rule: no transfers in game week 9, 10, and 11. So this is my planning. I don't want to make transfers if I'm wildcarding this week and get to game week 12, which is the next fixture swing, because Liverpool's fixtures are really good. Arsenal's fixtures are not as good after that. I mean, Arsenal is still good forever anyway. It's a good team. But you could look at switches like Saka to Salah. You could look at, your second Arsenal defender to a Van Dijk. I think these will be popular moves. So game week 12 I've left as the first week where I accumulate all these transfers and take 4 free transfers into game week 12, or potentially 5 into game week 13. That's the second thing that I fixed. So now let's get into the different sub branches. So the sub branches are quite easy. In one of the branches, I left it that just do your thing. So in many cases, it just says, you know what, change Haaland to Salah, because Salah's got great fixtures. He's the best captain in game week 12. I want you to change Haaland to Salah. So the second branch, sub-branch, says, no, I don't want to do that. I want to hold Haaland and get Salah. So what are the routes that are available to me there?
So
and then
is that you manually intervening to say,
yes,
see what
Haaland
it does,
needs to stay.
And then go, okay, now take this different structurally approach, see what it does that way. And then the third one is
a free hit in game week 14. Because Salah's best fixture is home to Sunderland game week 14. So actually then the model still asks me to get Salah in game week 12. So really? It was just something that I was thinking about, that do I need to do that or not? But yeah, so it tells me that even if I can be flexible with the free hit, even if I'm planning a game week 14 free hit, because I suppose there's enough value to get an Isak or somebody else and a Van Dijk who I don't have in this draft.
There's also, is it 12 and 16? I think there's like 2 or 3 where Salah does look quite hot from here.
Correct.
We might get there, and he's still been performing how he's performing now. That's what we don't know. But equally, you're flexible for that. You can get to game week 12 and go, okay, we've got 4 more weeks of Salah info, and there's been another international break. And part of your decision on whether to make one of these paths is based on that info we've gained in those 4 weeks. But part of it might be, Haaland. Let's say Haaland gets injured in game week 12.
Yep.
Then you go, okay, right, I've got to swap out, or I can swap into a Salah and an Isak, or all manner of things.
Correct.
But yeah, I think it's smart to kind of go, certainly game week 9. I think if you're wildcarding in game week 8 with a planned move in game week 9, then you should really evaluate whether you can just start with that structure.
Correct.
You might end up having to make one. You might get an injury and it makes sense in these 3 weeks. But if you can plan not to. So I think sometimes when people are planning these out, it's like, I'm not making any moves for 3 weeks. And it's like, well, actually, you're just not planning in any specific moves for 3 weeks.
Correct.
And all being well, yeah, roll, off you go. But we know that that's not how FPL gods let us do it sometimes. But yeah, I think that's a good way to start.
There was one very interesting path that people, it's applicable to anyone who's not on a Salah structure, is actually in Game Week 12 sell Haaland to Salah, free hit in Game Week 13 because you want Haaland back in 13. Then you have Salah again, no Haaland in Game Week 14, which is the Sunderland game, which is really nice. And then you do the reverse again by Game Week 15 because you need to get Salah out again. He's going to go to AFCON and then you get Haaland back as well. So it uses up obviously 4 transfers. But if you're sitting in Game Week 12 and you've got the luxury and your team looks great, then I think that was another free hit path that I was looking at, free hit 13. Because you have a lot of Chelsea and Arsenal players who play each other in Game Week 13. So that was another interesting free hit window.
If Palmer's back even for 9, like 11 is kind of where we're looking at him for now, but there's a right chance he just plays Game Week 8 and it's okay, he's fine. He did look to be in a bit of pain when Harto jumped into him.
Yes.
But yeah, if suddenly it makes sense to be moving into these Chelsea guys in 9 for Sunderland, you can be more confident, okay, I can do that because I've got this other route in 13 to move it around. Or you start with Saka and he gets injured and Palmer looks fine, that's the reason that you might be more keen to make those kind of moves. So correct. Yeah, I think it's good to be prepared for these kind of different things and making sure your team is able to pivot depending on what might happen.
Exactly. So
unforeseen stuff happens.
Exactly. So between the 3 branches, just to repeat, so the bottom branch was the one which is unadjusted. The first top branch is with the adjustments. I just optimized the wildcard to what is the solely recommended. And then the middle branch is the one that is my wildcard, where I've looked at all the information and I've just built it rather than optimizing it. And then I've optimized beyond that. So I've thought, okay, this is the team that I like. No transfers until Game Week 11. Then let me see from Game Week 12 what are the paths that I'm getting. So this is where I was really interested in is it switching Haaland? Is it not switching Haaland if I free hit in a particular week? So that's enough about all the nodes and all the other things. If I was really, really doing this correctly, then I would have another decision tree in the beginning, which would give probabilities to each of these routes, but I did not do that. I've tended to just benchmark my middle branch with the other 2 branches, and that's the way I went about it.
I think it's a good, there's sort of a few levels where you've gone, okay, I want to put my own beliefs in and see how different they are from the sort of default beliefs. So you can get an idea of how confident you have to be in the things that you're thinking in order for that to make sense. So, for example, with Minte and Paqueta, if you were realizing as you were moving stuff, it's like, oh, actually, Minte's going to be getting a whole extra quarter of a goal every game for him to start appearing in these solutions or to be competitive with Paqueta, then you go, okay, that's a lot. I have to be very confident that he's suddenly a nailed 90-minute striker on penalties or something. What he might be. There might be reasons to have a big shift in your beliefs on a player. But if you think, okay, this guy that I like isn't popping up and he's a little bit lower than the other player and I only tweak it a little bit and suddenly it's very similar, then you don't have to be super confident in your opinion that Minted's a better asset than Paqueta in order for him to be, okay, I'm happy to go with the one that I want rather than the one that's slightly ahead in the, our projected data. And the same thing with, your plan of okay, the optimizer has come up with a solution, which looks like this based on your inputs. So you've put your own stuff in here, but actually I want to try this and see how much different it is. So you've got two levels of comparing it to, I've set a tree up and let's see what it does, to I've set a tree up and it's the baselines, and you've gone, okay, how good does mine do? If it runs it close, then you can really easily happy go, okay, yeah, my stuff is good enough. It's it's in the mix. I think there's lots of different close optimal solutions is what the kind of term is for.
Yeah.
This team
Absolutely.
looks quite different, but scores almost as highly. You don't have to take the top one and say, if you don't like the top one, then don't pick it. Unless you're happy to say, I'm going to put my hands fully in the faith of whatever the top line is. I mean, the main difference that's going to happen is just one of these is going to get lots of points and one of them isn't.
As always.
And sadly, it's hard to know exactly which one will. But yeah, it's nicer to have, this is the one that I picked. But
Indeed.
also, yeah, you know that your team is good. If you'd put your own beliefs into the middle path and it was scoring a lot lower, you go, okay, like maybe you can pick apart why. You can work out why does this structure not work, and you go, okay, well, it's because I've gone without Salah, and Salah's really high in the projections, and do I believe that, and so on and so on. So I think it's nice to see. Well, we'll see on your drafts what
Which
what
one
do
should
these
we do
actually
with it
look
first?
like.
Double Arsenal defense?
Yeah, I think. Or which one are you leaning towards? Which one are we going? I feel like this is on pointless.
I genuinely
Alexander
keep
Armstrong.
cycling every
one?
few hours.
Yeah.
I keep cycling between the three every few hours. Let's start with double Arsenal defense. I
Okay.
think that's the sensible one.
Yeah.
It's the sensible one for many reasons,
Whatever
right?
your favourite at the moment, that's fine.
There's one sensible, there's one that I feel like, why am I not doing this? And the other one is like, this is fun. So
Okay.
we'll go with the sensible first, all right?
See how you're feeling on Saturday morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one thing I've landed on is, I think there's two nice, we've been given a gift of two new Arsenal options, which is Timber and Eze.
Mhm.
So, of course, with Timber, it's up to your beliefs, right? I mean, maybe he misses a game in the next 5 or 6. But generally speaking, he's got great attacking threat. Every time he's played wide, it's, in the cups, it's not really worked out. Timber has had to be brought back in to replace him. And there's Carabao Cup in the middle, and there's Europe where he could get some minutes, and Arsenal are actually doing well. Maybe this is all confirmation bias, but in my view, in my beliefs, Timber is a good pick. Mm-hmm. And I feel like going for Raya, I can just do all right with just going for Sanchez, or I can get Pope. Like, Pope is also a very good option. In fact, you tell me how you feel about Arsenal Newcastle defense. But the one I have at the moment is this Sanchez-Verbruggen rotation. Have you seen this rotation?
No. Do you want to read off? You're going to rattle off the.
I mean,
the fixtures?
I just want to tell you. If you look at Chelsea's fixtures, right, in the horizon, the toughest fixtures they have is Gameweek 8. Now I'm gonna have to load this. Sorry.
Sure. They've got Forest away, Sunderland home, Spurs away, Gameweek 10.
So let's stop at Spurs away, Gameweek 10, right? Yeah. Who does Verbruggen play in Gameweek 10?
Leeds at home.
Leeds at home. Very nice. What's the next time you don't want to play Sanchez?
I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Game week 13, so Arsenal home.
So he plays Forest away. So that's okay.
It's better.
Not terrible. Yeah. What's the next one? Game week 15?
Bournemouth away, maybe.
Verbruggen plays West Ham at home. Very nice.
Yeah, Newcastle away 17. Sunderland home 17.
He plays Sunderland at home. Okay, let's do. Is it game week 19, 20 when Sanchez has
20?
Tough
He's
fixtures?
got City away.
He's got Burnley at home, Verbruggen. So it's really nice.
Oh, this is How far can I go with this? Let's keep going. Does it go all the way to the end of the season?
No, that's when I'll make a keeper transfer. That's when I'll realize these were both rubbish and I should have made a different transfer or gone Pope anyway.
I know. Verbruggen and Bob Sanchez.
Or I should say, I will have a double game week keeper by then because we'll have doubles and blanks and we'll find out.
The best bit.
So long story short, I feel for
good.
Raya,
good rotation,
I can match him with Sanchez and Verbruggen or just Pope, right? So just tell me as a Newcastle fan, what do you think? Is Pope, firstly, is he like 100% secure because I read something about Ramsdale? And secondly, is this thing about him being good on bonus and save points, is it a thing over a Raya or not?
I think from a bonus point of view, the issue is that Arsenal's defenders do a lot of passing and attacking and all the kind of like stuff. You know, they play out from the back. They do the things that will accumulate this baseline bonus, the stuff that isn't in the attacking returns and so on. Whereas Newcastle's defenders tend not to do that so much. So I think certainly the narrative is that Pope is more likely to get bonus in a clean sheet game than Raya is compared to the Arsenal defense, which I think still holds true, even though there's sort of, you know, the makeshift sort of change in the Newcastle defense. And we've got Burn at left back now, and again, back to the good old days, marauding 6'7" wing back. And as far as I'm concerned, I think he's the number one. I think Ramsdale's there to provide competition and play some of the cup games. And like Pope's had a few injuries, so like not that keepers get injured very often, but Newcastle have been stung a little bit in the past by Pope getting injured and the backup being. Well, I mean, Dubravka was okay, did quite well, but we're like, okay, we're a worse team now that the keeper's gone. So hopefully, I think Ramsdale. He wasn't the first choice goalkeeper to bring in. Like they were chasing Trafford all window, and then he went to City. So Ramsdale wasn't like, this is our guy that we want to come in and usurp Pope. Whereas I think Trafford could have been that. Maybe not now, maybe next season, but you know that would have been trickier. But my concern would be if Pope does get an injury, then misses a few games and Ramsdale plays well. Does he get his place back, so to speak? But from a fantasy perspective, if Pope gets injured, you sell him.
You sell him.
It doesn't matter. You're not holding him going, well, he'll be back soon and he might, you know. So I guess maybe it'd be like if he got a red card, a missed match, and then Ramsdale was amazing for the game, and I don't know. But yeah, I'm not expecting. Well, I mean, you're picking Bob Sanchez. I'd say Bob Sanchez is just as likely to get dropped for Jorgensen as Pope is for Ramsdale, if not more. I wouldn't be worried about Pope being rotated. He's been playing all the games that he needs to. I wouldn't say he's hot on the bonus. He's not a big bonusy keeper. And I think the saves just comes from the fact that Newcastle's defence is not as good as Arsenal, rather than anything specific to do with the team style favouring. You know, you do get some goalkeepers. I remember I had Mark Flecken for Brentford, who wasn't getting that many clean sheets, but just so many saves, just because of the way Brentford were playing. And I don't think Newcastle's stand out specifically in like, oh yeah, this is a save-heavy goalkeeper. But the defence has been strong, been our like sort of mainstay. And yeah, I don't know if we'll continue to grind out results in the same way that they did at the start from a let's just make sure no one has any shots. They were some not very nice to watch games. But, yeah.
But do you think Eddie Howe continues that model? Like he's going to be a defense first? Or was it because you didn't have strikers?
I think it was a mixture. I think it was just like we had some good defenders and it was like we just need to get some results on the board. And we didn't. But yeah, Walter Marder's there now. Gordon's firing again now. Like I don't think they're going to go all out gung-ho attack. I don't think he wants that solid defense, and we've got some fit defenders now. So I expect it to stay solid, but I think they've probably been a bit stronger over the opening than they'll continue to be, if that makes sense. I'm not expecting them to get worse, but
when he played Burn on left back, he kept getting skinned by fast dribbly. You remember that? Right wingers?
Yes.
That's my other worry.
Yeah, I think because what was it when he played him left back for a while? He used to play like Joe Linton as like a man marking. So when we played Arsenal and Saka was like, well, Saka's just going to get past Burn. He would just play Joe Linton and just say, right, you mark Saka, Dan Burn, you're like left centre back, and Joe Linton will follow whichever of Ødegaard and Saka's like free around there, so Burn doesn't have to worry about it. And I don't know if he'll still do that or what, but who have we even got coming up? Is this something specific about Newcastle? Are we going to be Brighton,
Newcastle's
Fulham,
fixtures
West
over
Ham,
the next
Brentford? So
15 weeks are one of the best.
That's Minter. Minter might be skinning him. Fulham is... What is right wing for Fulham? Wilson,
yeah.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be skinning him, is he? West Ham, Bowen. Brentford. Depends. Dango.
Ouattara.
Well, they might be in the back five. I don't know. Yeah, so then City is... Or Savio. or Bob or whoever. So I don't know who would be the pacey wingers to match Burn.
Look, I mean,
I don't
here's
know.
the thing.
Yeah.
Until game week 13, every single week, Sanchez and Verbruggen beat him for expected points every week, even depending on who I play. After that, he pretty much matches or slightly beats them. So one thought is, what are you doing? Like just get the cheaper guy, which in this case, he is cheaper by 0.2. So just get the one guy and just do it. And the other one is just,
Is it a Sanchez versus Pope with Verbruggen backup decision for you?
No. Pope will be with
just be Pope with Dubravka,
Yeah. So anyway, I think we've talked enough about keepers, but it's close.
A Brighton
between
keeper
them.
and a former Brighton keeper and a Newcastle keeper and a former Newcastle keeper.
Oh, yes. Actually, Pope and Dubravka, you have to reunite them. I didn't think of this.
Well, I mean,
but
I don't know if Sanchez wasn't there at the same time as Verbruggen, was he? It was Sanchez and Steele. Oh, was he there with Verbruggen? I can't remember.
Sanchez was Steele.
Yeah, they had
he was replaced by Verbruggen.
Ah, yes, because he moved from Brighton's third choice goalkeeper to Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper.
Correct.
And, yeah, we'll see. So I think you can overthink goalkeepers as well. Like they're so much noisier and harder to predict. Because even the clean sheets, like you just get some keeper who isn't conceding loads of goals and getting loads of saves, and they'll match.
Do you have the team strength thing up? Like how better is Newcastle defense compared to in our model?
For the clean sheets, I've got these ones.
No, so that.
Yes.
If in the website, those lovely charts.
If I go to teams. This one.
We've talked way too much about defenses. Yeah, see, Newcastle is well ahead of Chelsea in defense. I mean, we're talking next to Liverpool in terms of defensive strength.
Yeah. They have been pretty good.
It does seem like a no-brainer to just get Pope and leave it. Especially with the fixtures. Like they have, over the long term, they're probably even better than Arsenal.
Yeah.
So
I do wonder if actually having two keepers is going to be quite nice as a sort of like a Burnley double game week. Not that it's going to be likely, but let's say you get through to game week 24-5 with these keeper pairing. Once you start getting like a League Cup double, then Brighton and Chelsea gives you a bit more sort of bites of the cherry. Are they both in? Brighton are still in the cup, I think, and Chelsea are as well. Whereas Burnley are out. But I guess it'll depend on their opponents.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You've given me something else to think about. Excellent.
You've got to think about the double game weeks in January. That's what you need to do.
Of course I had that. Okay, now I need to add the likelihood of the blanks and doubles in 24, and then I'll decide. All right, let's move on from keepers.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I'll let you know. I haven't worked out all the doubles yet in what's happening in January and February, but I think that should be... one of them is going to get loads more points than the other one anyway. Sorry, that's my team. Back to your draft. Yes. So we've done Sanchez and Verbruggen. Moving on.
We're moving swiftly along. In all of them, I've got Rodon and Anderson and Senesi. And Gabriel, actually. Because it just works very nicely as a rotation. Rodon has two next great fixtures, and then Anderson has great fixtures forever. So just Rodon and Anderson as a combo works really well because you have a playing defender for a while. Good defender with good clean sheet prospects and DEFCON prospects. If I have Timber and Senesi, then Senesi doesn't need to play this week. Senesi will come in next week, and I can actually cover for a Sar, for example, who's away to Arsenal. So next week can be a 4 at the back. So Senesi. So this combination works really well if I'm going with this back line. I don't need to spend more.
It's Timber and Gabriel pretty much every week, but then it's Rodon this week and Senesi and or Anderson to pair for a 3 or a 4 if you need to, if your attack's looking weak. Because we know that
and
they
after
can get points. And
Game Week 9?
Rodon's there if one of them gets injured and he still wants the rotation. He's still fairly good, but keeps the money out of your, you don't have to...
Correct. So Rodon will never play after Game Week 9, but he will play Game Week 8 and Game Week 9.
Once he's got his goal.
Exactly.
Once he's scored.
So That's the defense. But let's leave the Timber spot for now, because I think if I want to go for a second one, look, I could get Saliba, right? But then if I go Saliba, then I definitely like the Eze version, which I will come to as the next one. So I like the Timber for the spice, because I think Timber until Game Week 12 is great, and then he becomes Van Dijk. That would be the path here, where you then get Van Dijk, and again, this defense becomes really robust.
He's also someone not a lot of people have, so even though you are doubled up, when some people are doubled up as well, you've got a different one, and he's been really attacking. He's been very far forward.
The concern is minutes, right?
Yeah.
Against Sunderland and Burnley away in Game Week 10 and 11, if he misses one of those, then it's a disaster pick. If he plays both, it's great. And as of now, my belief is he probably plays.
If he fully misses out, it's not as much of a disaster.
But he doesn't, because White is rubbish. So
well, okay, fair enough.
You have to bake in a cameo. You just have to. Like, we have to be realistic about these picks, right? Sometimes you are taking a little bit of a risk, but it has its rewards, I feel. So this is the back line.
Yeah.
I think the midfield is even easier, because I'm also thinking of players people don't own that are low owned. So I think Enzo fits that category. Not many people are on Enzo. He's just come off playing Liverpool. They had tougher fixtures. So I think he's a good entry point to get him, especially if he's fit, right? I mean, he did come off international break with a yellow flag. So
yeah, hopefully we'll hear some on
TBC.
Friday. Yeah. But
Exactly. I think he's all right. If he's not, I've got a good enough team here that I can still take him into the good fixtures after this week. Although I really want him for Forest. We're not going to get many more Nottingham Forest games with Ange, so treasure the ones we get.
But then, are they going to get better? Are they going to get worse? Like, they might get an even worse manager.
I think. Well, yes,
well,
true.
Not worse manager,
but
you know what I mean.
If it's Sean Dyche, the opportunity with Ange is just your attackers.
Yeah.
The ceiling for your attackers is huge when you play an Ange team. Like, I just think that team is there for the taking. So this is the reason why I've gone for the Enzo and João Pedro pairing, where I don't believe in either of them. And I think none of them will be in my team come Game Week 13. But I do think that with their good fixtures, and especially if Palmer is out, there is, you can go there. One of them will take a penalty as well. So you're getting 100% pen share as well. Pretty much.
It would be quite funny if someone else takes it. If you double up on Enzo.
It would be funny for you, JC, not me.
No,
but yes.
This is what FPL is all about for me. It's about these silly narratives where something happens and everyone's like, this is going to happen. And
Bob Sanchez on penalties, who would have thought?
Well, I mean, you're laughing then, yeah. Exactly. I'll laugh too. That'll still be funny.
So Sarr is another one that fits that category. I think if I can bench Sarr next week, which is the plan in this draft, then his fixtures next Arsenal, 3 games are home games. Yeah, away to Arsenal. Next 3 games are then home games where I will play him, and then just long term he's good until he has to go to AFCON, right? So FPL has given me 5 free transfers to get rid of Sarr, and I will be using those.
I'm looking forward to until he goes to AFCON being a staple phrase. I'm already thinking about, like, at what point do you not bring someone in because they're about to go to AFCON, and then
it's like the whole 4 yellow cards thing. He's on 4 yellow cards.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Dewsbury Hall went and got his straight away. Exactly. We weren't lingering on, but yeah. Was it Will? Was it not Will Dennis? Emmanuel Dennis. Will Dennis is the Bournemouth keeper. He was meant to go to AFCON, and then the last minute he just didn't go.
Didn't go?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I remember picking Josh King. I'm like, Josh King was maybe on pens, and Dennis is off to AFCON, and then he just didn't go to AFCON.
Yes.
He was meant to be at AFCON when he got his red card.
Yeah,
anyway, moving on. Yeah.
So
Sarr
Sarr feels like he's a good pick to get him in now. And I'm probably sacrificing a Reinders for him, but I feel it's not the worst, because again, I think Reinders is well owned. City are going through
really
not the best
on
fixtures.
6, because they played Burnley. So if you can go somewhere else,
So he had this early sub in Game Week 7 because Cherky's back, Mamouche is back, Foden is looking good. I'm not saying he will miss games, but his minutes could be lower than what the models think or the field thinks.
The question mark on him is a little bit bigger, even if the most likely expectation is just keep playing.
He's still a fine pick, but it's something that I feel like we can take on. He will absolutely come back in if his minutes continue to stay the same by Game Week 13 after City have played Newcastle.
Good pick.
So, and they're easy downgrades. Enzo to Reinders is just like the easiest thing you can do at that point, because I don't want Enzo after that and I want Reinders after that. So that's the thinking and that's the pass. So Timber to Van Dijk, Enzo to Reinders is something what I have planned. Saka is the big one here, and Semenyo. So with Saka, again, he's very low owned. So for somebody who, you may think, it's boring, everyone's picking Saka. Actually, if you step back and you think, he has taken the pen, so our beliefs have changed in him. Even though if you don't think he's 100% pen share, even if you think he's 50%, I think I was at 0%.
Yeah.
or 20% before.
Whatever you thought it was, unless you thought it was 100, it has to now be higher than you previously thought. Like, wherever you moved from and to,
Correct.
it can't have gone down from taking the penalty. So, yes.
Semenyo is the one which is a little bit of heart overhead because, look, I'll definitely want him because his fixtures are great after game week 12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I want to take on that EO when Clivert is not starting every game, so he's on penalties. That pen share has gone up from what my beliefs were earlier. Yeah. He's taking direct free kicks. He is looking more talismanic. Now, that is small sample size alert and, all of those things. But there are things here which I'm like, they're picks I'm happy to take on. I've mentioned Reinders. João Pedro, I'm happy to take on. There is a draft where I don't have João Pedro. Bowen, I'm happy to take on. They can hurt me, right? So it's not like I know better. But with Semenyo, I feel like if I'll take him on and I'll watch him, I'll be like, why am I taking this player on? Like, you don't have to take him on.
Yeah. I think there certainly is enough, like, external factors of, like, the fact he can shoot with both feet really well and, taking penalties now and just is the guy who's going to be playing all the
minutes
time.
Secure, 90 minutes, every game he'll play,
Quote,
no
unquote,
Europe.
First name on the team sheet, that kind of thing. Yeah, no Europe is, that does have an effect. There's not many, like, question marks over it other than the fact that Bournemouth aren't an elite attack. So you're kind of betting on, like, Semenyo not getting as much of the goals as he has done, not having every shot go in, and Bournemouth being only okay rather than a pretty good attack, which is a reasonable bet. But I think if you want Semenyo, I wouldn't fight against it too hard. Like, he's good, but you can. But equally, the other way, he's not so good that you can't.
You can take him on. You can go for a Bowen in this setup. You can upgrade a Semenyo to a Bruno Fernandes. There are routes that you can do that. And so look, we have to be objective about
Bruno
it.
Here. I've not been paying attention. Where's he gone? I didn't even notice. I just assume he's there. No, I know they're playing Liverpool this week, but how do you get him back? Does he not get bought in 9?
So the thinking with Bruno is, let's talk about Bruno, which we discussed. We should talk about Bruno. Yeah. The thing is, I can get him. It's not very difficult to get him in. I can actually do, who is this guy? Paqueta to Bruno by downgrading Timber all the way down to a 4.5 like who's our friend? Richards. And so it is doable. And then I don't have a Verbruggen, for example. So it's not that difficult to get to a Bruno in this team. However, my thinking is all my paths, if I lock in that I have to get Salah by game week 12, but by keeping Haaland, it sells Bruno. So when I look at that and I'm thinking, okay, who do I, Bruno's next 4 aren't the greatest. Now, Bruno is obviously fixture proof. He can get DEFCON penalties. I understand it. I love him. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, if Salah is not a viable alternative in game week 12 and there are other routes, maybe he's looking bad or I'm free hitting, then I can get Bruno later, right? I'm not keeping Enzo forever. I'm not keeping João Pedro forever. So there are routes to getting him if I want by game week 12. But if I do it now, I will hesitate to sell him in game week 12 because it's always hard to sell Bruno.
So your Wildcard.
So next 4, I feel like I can take him on. If that, it's not like it's a big ownership that I'm taking him on as similar to Semenyo, but I just feel I can take him on and then reevaluate.
It's a very specific circle of managers that you're taking on.
Exactly.
But you're running
away.
We're
all better than me.
Running away while you can. Yeah. I mean, if there's any time to take him out, it is now. I think just for me, he's someone, and I don't want to like have sweeping generalizations that I could never sell him or he's so good that he's going to be taken out. But I still think the value's there. That I mean, I've already wildcarded. I'm not going to be selling him and buying him back.
This is the thing.
Yeah, there's nothing. So this is your opportunity to do that differently.
See, if I asked you to make a Game Week 12 wildcard, which is what I'm trying to back solve, right? Mm-hmm. If I ask you to make a Game Week 12 wildcard with Salah and Haaland, you will not be able to fit in Bruno because you'll want an Arsenal defender. You'll want a Van Dijk. You'll want maybe Semenyo. I do think you'll want Semenyo.
He's the Salah replacement in 16-17 when you sell Salah. Is that what happened?
You could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, on the model Solio, just whenever I say I have a free transfer, get Bruno. So I...
you want Bruno. You haven't got Bruno. Would you like some help?
Initially, when I hadn't solved for that I must get Salah in 12, what the model was doing was, oh, you're not going to make a transfer in 9, 10, 11? Okay, in 12, just save enough money so you can get Bruno. That's what you need to do in 12. So
Oh, it's funny.
I'm not going to fight it.
Yeah.
So I've shared my logic that if I was building a wildcard team with Salah and Haaland, I could not accommodate Bruno. So I'm leaving that option open. And the best time to do it over a block of fixtures where he is playing away to Liverpool, away to Spurs, home to Brighton, and away to Nottingham Forest. So 3 away games. Now Nottingham Forest, good game, man. Like we talked about
Well,
Ange
might be
and everything
Dyche,
else.
might not be. Who knows?
Brighton, I think, is a good game for him. Even, good game for DEFCON and good game for, Brighton are a little bit open. So I'm being a little grassy here, but I do think Brighton and Forest are good games. Spurs, not so much away, and Liverpool, not so much away.
Yeah.
But Bruno's Bruno. He can do well. So I feel like I can take him on in those four.
I think your methodology is really strong there as well, in terms of like, this is something I do quite a lot when I'm wildcarding or considering like a big set of transfers. If I've got 5 and I'm not sure what kind of direction to take, is to look at where I would ideally want to be in a few weeks' time. So what I used to do is I'd kind of solve a wild card this week, next week, the week after, the week after, the week after, the week after, with some simulations, so that it's not just this one team. It's like, how often is this player appearing? And seeing like, okay, so sure, Bruno's appearing in about 50% of the simulations I run this week, but if I do it in 2 weeks' time, he's in all of them. So I'll go, okay, well, if I don't have him, it's going to use a transfer to get to him, so I'm probably just going to want to put him in. So conversely, if you're looking at what would my ideal team, or what would the ideal team look like in a few weeks' time, and it doesn't have Bruno in it, and you're 50-50 on him now, then you go, okay, well, it looks like starting with him will likely take him out, rather than either he's likely in and then likely in, or likely out and then likely out. If it changes, you can try and get ahead, so to speak, by starting with what looks like you want to be in a few weeks' time, and then you've got transfers to either get ahead again. By the time we get to 12, you're ahead of people who are chasing that stuff in 12, or you've got your safety net for, okay, I had 3 or 4 fires to fix in these 4 weeks. I've got transfers to use on that, rather than being scuppered and then having to take hits, or vice versa. So I think that's a really good way to think about where does this team go, is actually looking at where would I want to be if I was starting a few weeks down the line, and making sure that your team has a route either to that, or if you're 50-50 on a player, then you can go, okay, like, would I want him later? Would Game Week 12 me be annoyed that I have to buy him now? Or would Game Week 12 maybe going, okay, it was good we didn't start with him because I think I like him.
He'll be 8.5 by Game Week 12,
Bruno's,
so I'll buy him cheaper.
Much cheaper, exactly, yeah. I think that the methodology is what I agree with. The Bruno not pick is...
I'm with you. And
yeah,
I was dreading coming on this podcast not talking
like,
Bruno.
It's not up to me, is it? But like, I would pick Bruno. But the reasoning you've given is exactly why I would... That's why probably I wouldn't pick Semenyo, for example. So I think if your methodology is strong, that's the more important thing.
And notice I've got, actually here, I've not adjusted all the buy prices I've done over, the value farming I've done over international break. This is 2 million in the bank.
Okay.
So I've left 2 million in the bank because a really elite manager I spoke to, when he wildcarded in game before, he had a lot of money in the bank for flexibility.
Who was that?
And I think that is what I'm trying to achieve here, that I can do Enzo to Bruno, right? So it's not like I'm sacrificing Bruno and it's impossible to get him. And the value of keeping this 2 million in the bank is Game Week 12, Salah is looking good. Saka goes to Salah. João Pedro goes to Calvert-Lewin or Foster or someone else. That's it. 2 transfers, done. I've got Salah in my team. He's the best captain in Game Week 12. This is the thing. This is why I like this draft. It's the sensible draft where I've got all the players I like. Mm-hmm. I'm sacrificing pretty much Bruno as the one that is the sacrifice. Apart from that, I'm not seeing a big sacrifice in this team. These are players with good fixtures, good next 4, carry 4 transfers, have a lot of money in the bank, and just take it from there. Is Isak the best pick? Is Salah the best pick? Is neither the best pick? And just go back to Bruno, Van Dijk. So it's all possible. That's what I've tried to achieve with this draft. And I think the one player I haven't talked about is Paqueta. That's going to be Minte, only because Paqueta is good for the next 4. if I look at just projected points, but Minte is clearly better over the next 12. So I'm thinking there's going to be transfer pressure. I'm not doing Paqueta to Minte. It's just not going to be something I will ever do. And so I'll just get Minte immediately. So that's the thinking, at least eventually. But this is the base draft.
Gambia are not at AFCON. I was just checking. That's yeah. So Minte you can hold through. He's not
Correct.
off. He's not off anywhere. I don't think. He's not in our minutes, so I'll have to double check that. And if not, I'll cut this out. But I'm sure he's fine.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he's a good pick. And also, if that's something that you're, those are both close. That kind of is almost a dealer's choice pick. Like it's not going to affect the structure. It's not going to affect. I mean, I know you've got Verbruggen, but you're not really going to be locked out of a third or Brighton player that you're worried about. So yeah, I think that's just if they're close, you can take a preference pick too.
Correct. So we go to the next draft, which is very similar to this. I've just used up the little bit of money in the bank by taking Paqueta up to Eze. And instead of the Timber spot, I've gone down to Munoz.
One of the things that you said you were potentially missing was, you're missing Bruno. And I say you're missing Salah, but most people are missing Salah. But you are missing the double Arsenal attack. But the thing is, you can't have double Arsenal attack and double Arsenal defense, obviously.
Correct.
So you were missing one, but to get the other. So this is just the other way around. So there's still no Salah, no Bruno. But if you're happy to take those on, then yeah, you've only tweaked it a little bit. So is it Eze in for Paqueta and is that Munoz?
Munoz in for Timber. It could be Lacroix. It could even be Richards, and I leave money in the bank again. But I just think with Munoz, the 3 home games, again, I'll be benching Munoz next week. So it's just that thought where, can you do it? Can you get Munoz for these really high upside games? Like he was on for a 17-pointer in the last game. Like but he didn't. The rarely seen DEFCON plus goal plus 3 bonus and clean sheet.
Yeah.
So
we say rarely seen. Has anyone done that?
No.
I thought, yeah.
Not yet seen.
That is quite rare, yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone's doing it, it's Munoz.
Yeah.
If anyone's doing it, it's Munoz.
He does make a lot of tackles. And yeah, I mean, Gabriel could do it. I know his DEFCON numbers are gone up a little bit. Like, I'm not expecting them to stay high, but he didn't hit DEFCON all of last season, I think, when we looked at the data. And this year he's hit it once, twice, I can't remember. He definitely hit it.
2 times. Oh, 3 times, I think.
3?
3 times.
Blimey.
Yeah.
He's
hit it Man City, Newcastle, and he did it against West Ham. So yeah, 3.
Against West Ham. What were they doing?
That was surprising.
What on earth? Why don't I have?
It's this bloody throw-ins, man. It's like ruined the game.
Yeah.
So it's tall people are good.
It's excellent.
Tall people are good.
Tall people, yeah. Yes. So then there's not too much. I guess we haven't got to Obi yet. Or should we come back to him?
Obi is just the most locked guy in my team, man. Like I
why Obi?
Well, because I don't want to lock in a Chelsea spot just in case Palmer gets. Oh, firstly, I have Sanchez and João Pedro. I don't have a Chelsea slot to get Guiu.
True.
And Obi is also 4.3. So unfortunately, we live in a world where Man United picks, we're less likely to have a triple up.
You're not locking yourself out of anything. It's just Bruno.
I doubt it.
And
I doubt it. So that's where we are.
I was going to say we'll get around to double game week season, but mucking around, you're out of the cup. And I'm sure the keeper will be. I mean, Lamens has been much better than by India based on the last game, but I forgot Obi was 4.3. I was going to say. I don't think
Marshall?
I'm not expecting Marshall to be a minutes guy all of a sudden, but he's the one. Well, we thought Guiu was, but Fulkrug's out, or is certainly he withdrew from the Germany squad, and Nuno hasn't played Wilson at all, and brought Marshall on twice. So if you are looking at a 4.4 rather than a 4.3, then we'll throw him in there, and he'll drop to 4.3, and he won't play. And obviously, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
And Mark Guiu will suddenly get some minutes.
I'll tell you what. If Marshall starts playing, I'll do João Pedro to Marshall in Game Week 12, and then Saka up to Salah. Right. So
Marshall
that's cool.
and Obi, you're all good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, how good is a West Ham strike? Like they've been bread and butter in my anti-FPL teams. So
thing is,
I would
he will
feel like
never see the day of light. He could
Yeah.
be playing every game, not every game, but
you're
let's
not
say
going
he
to
gets
start
30
him,
minutes every
yeah,
game.
and you've played
He
your
won't
bench
even make it
boost,
off
it doesn't
second
matter.
bench.
Yeah.
He won't even make second bench because Anderson and Senesi or Rodon will always be ahead of him because the game is such
Your
this
third
this time.
bench points will go up. That's much better.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Obi,
Yes.
fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. I thought,
So in this draft version, I can, instead of Munoz, I can do Cucurella, and instead of Sanchez, I can do Pope. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
version
yeah.
of this.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit more, I don't want to say minute secure, but maybe more upside, because Cucurella then becomes Van Dijk later.
Yeah.
But I like this only
or
because
you could
Munoz
go,
can just
you
stay.
could go
Right?
Bob Sanchez and Dan Burn.
I don't like Dan Burn now. Dan Burn on left back, I don't like.
No, yeah, no.
I'd rather get Pope then.
He got an assist. He passed it in the middle of the pitch and got an.
It's not repeatable. Defcon is
No, I
repeatable.
know,
I want
know.
Defcon.
Yeah, yeah. He's not as good a pick. But never say you don't like Dan Burn. I'll be very offended.
Oh yes, okay. No,
I
we
dare
like
you.
Dan Burn. We like Dan Burn.
What a lovely man. Yes, yeah. I think. Well, I mean, he's not Munoz, is he?
Yeah.
As much as he wants to be.
I mean, I'd get Lacroix, to be honest,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
wanted to go spend that much.
Yeah, yeah. I think. So yeah, I think I'd probably go Sanchez Munoz. As a Pope.
So between the two,
Cucurella.
what is your any preference? It's two players different, but do you think double attack or double defense?
Ooh, I mean, I'm on double attack. So I suppose that's what I have to say. This is more like my team, therefore it's better. No, I mean, I do really like Eze. I think, I don't know. I'm just such a minutes pessimist that to me, Eze and Timber are like, oh, they might get dropped. They might not play. Well, they probably will. But I feel like Eze is, because he can play on the wing, but people are saying he's going to fill in for Ødegaard now. But actually, they've got Nwaneri has played there, Marino's played there. Marino got 2 goals for Spain from there as well, and Marino's playing pretty well. So I don't think Eze is like as nailed as I don't think anyone's saying he's nailed, but
No.
I would.
And that's reflected. I've got, I think, 70 odd minutes for him.
I think
it's just fine.
Purely from a point of view that like they have lots of good players. Even if I think Eze's top of the pecking order, I think that just puts me off a little bit. But it's hard to say no to Eze because I love Eze. He's so good at Palace. So I think I probably would go for the double defense one. I think I slightly prefer Minter and Timber over Munoz and Eze. But I mean, it's mostly to do with which of the players do you just sort of fancy a punt on. Rather than anything.
And it's too different, like I said, right? I mean, we try to make it into huge things.
Structurally different. It's 2 players, yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll have ramifications. Like, suddenly this will mean that this is the move you make with the injury in a few weeks' time, and that takes you tangentially onto a different chip strategy in the second half of the season. So it will be very important which one you pick, but you don't know why.
Thank you for putting pressure. I mean, Eze to Gordon is a path where I like this structure a little bit as well, where, Gordon becomes good from 12.
Yeah, you've got more money in the midfield to like move around, or before I stop myself, or to get back to Bruno. Whereas actually, we have seen there are lots of value in defence, in a sort of slightly cheaper defence. So there's more defenders getting points, but also that doesn't mean you have to spend more money on them.
Not really, actually. In this case, I have only slightly more money because I'm not saving. You don't remember in the last draft I had like 2 million to spend. So I think it's a case of who do I have more belief in, and we'll see.
I meant in like places to move. So like if Munoz got injured, then where do you go? And it's easier to move from Timber to you can go to Cucurella or whatever if you've gone for Pope. I don't know.
I could just go Van Dijk as well, by the way. Instead of Munoz, just go Van Dijk straight to Van Dijk. So that's also an option.
I might do that actually. I think
Van Dijk and Eze better than Timber and.
You're chasing
Minte?
the 17-pointer from Munoz. I don't know. I think the way I'd probably end up deciding this is what am I doing in the other formats and which players don't want to cheer on.
All right. Time to get to the sexiest draft that I have
not
here.
a method. Oh, yes.
The best.
Has this got Obi
where
in it?
People look at it and go,
it's still got Obi.
Who do you not have? Like, tell me who am I missing here apart from João Pedro?
Bruno.
Forget about Bruno.
That's the answer. Yeah. João Pedro.
You can't.
Bruno,
this
Saka?
draft tells you.
Saka, I guess.
And I thought you said Stack. No, I'm not missing Stack. Yes, I'm missing Saka.
Stack. I need to sell Stack at some point. He's fine, but I should have known Sean Longstaff would come along and be a better corner taker.
It was. We all knew this.
It was
I
written.
mean,
Well,
this
I
is why
mean,
we
I
had.
got his free kick goal because I bought him early. So
You did actually. It's the
anyway,
ones who got him after.
yeah,
They're not happy.
poor guy. But
All right,
you
I'm
haven't
gonna
got
read this
Salah.
team out.
Salah and Haaland.
I've got Salah and Haaland, and this is what I was making the point where when you go Salah and Haaland, you cannot get Bruno, you cannot get Saka. It just ruins the structure. But this is the best Salah Haaland team I could come up with.
And this is
It's got double
including
Arsenal
a
defense.
team with Obi, because you bench boosted. So some people have not got
I
bench
have.
boost. They've still got bench boost to play. So if they want to go Salah and Haaland,
Absolutely.
there's no way for.
So you take advantage of that fact where you don't have to have a structure with 15 players. You can have a dead spot. You have, look at this midfield now. You have Salah, Sar, Enzo, Semenyo, all the guys who I said I like, and Paqueta, right? So essentially from that first draft, I've just upgraded Saka to Salah, just like magic. So, right. So João Pedro down to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin has great next two fixtures, and then I don't
That's a nice
necessarily need
upgrade.
to play him.
Yeah.
It's an upgrade.
An
And
upgrade.
then I've used the 2 million in the bank to get Salah up to Saka up to Salah. So my sacrifices here are essentially Saka, Bruno, and João Pedro, which if you can live with, this is a really good Salah draft. So on one hand, it tells me that my first draft that I showed you, it's robust because in 2 moves I can get Salah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is between Saka and João Pedro, who both have really good fixtures in the next 4, and Salah and Calvert-Lewin, who have good fixtures, not amazing fixtures. Salah, Solio's telling me to captain Salah. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. Like when Haaland's home to Everton and there's not much in it right now. So if I
had a nice
don't
rest
have
as well, that's what people are saying. He didn't play the second international game. Although he's on a stag do at the minute, or something like that. Not sure.
Is Haaland?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
That'll affect it.
I mean, I wish if Haaland's not there, then making a Salah team with no Haaland, that would be amazing. But I don't think we'll get that lucky.
He's on holiday. He'll be back. He'll go and pummel Everton.
Maybe he gets into the naughty step. You never know with Pep,
Yeah.
So what do you think about this team?
I feel like you've picked your Salah route immediately. Is kind of what's happened. Is that like you're looking at, I might want to get Salah in 12, but if I just get him now and decide how I'm doing that now, which is Calvert-Lewin instead of João Pedro. So I think I prefer the other ones. I think I do like the like, I'm going to get Salah when no one else has him. And the upside chasing of like potentially captaining him this week when, it's very close and basically no one's going to have him or captain him. But I feel like, yeah, the other team's a bit more robust structurally because you haven't chosen your route to Salah, which might be that you have no Salah. So
yeah.
I think this is what, you can either have Salah and Haaland and decide how to collapse out of them into a team that's more like the first draft, or you can start without one of them and find a route to both, which might involve not getting a route to both because you free hit one of the games and you stay without Salah and you don't pick him up at all.
That's the thinking.
Or you swap fully back, like we swapped Salah to Haaland in 6 for a lot of people. So I think, I'd probably rather have João Pedro over Calvert-Lewin and have Saka as like a sort of nice equivalent.
Because Saka is loaned as well, right? So it's not like
you've got your same kind of punchy, like I've got a premium-ish asset who people don't have. And then I've got more options come game week 12, and also because once we get past game week 9, then we'll have had Crystal Palace against Liverpool, and I know that the chances of this blank double thing are low, but Palace could beat Liverpool away in the round 4 of the cup, in which case we suddenly have either some cramped fixtures or some doubles and blanks, maybe not doubles later. But stuff to react to. And also, we've got Palmer's return to play to sort of react to. I still feel like there's quite a lot that I'm uncertain about. And I think I'd rather have the team that is most... The other ones feel better prepared to fork off in different directions. Whereas this one it's good. Like, I like it. But you kind of have, like, made your claim earlier. And I feel like making it as late as possible is normally the way I prefer to go. But even again, like, this is what, 2 players different Oh no, 3 because you've got Dubravka instead of Verbruggen. But
Correct.
it's only Dubravka, Salah, Calvert-Lewin for Verbruggen, João Pedro, Saka. Like
That's the
structurally it's different, but it's only 3 players different again. Like
Yeah.
these are all the same.
Especially if
drafts.
captaincy is not coming into it. Not as much until 12 anyway.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be Haaland and I don't know, whoever else. No one else. Saka, maybe? Not sure. I don't really plan my captains in too far in advance. I just wait for the week and see who's there. As long as I've generally got some good guys, then that'll do.
Salah's actually top captain on Solio next 3 weeks. But am I going to captain him?
Yeah. But then, you have to believe
others
that
are close.
too. Like,
yeah, others are close. It's really in 12 where others are not even close.
Yeah,
Like Saka's a whole 1.5 EV lower than him in 12.
But no, it's Forest. And then Saka's home to Spurs. Bruno's home to Everton. Holland's away to Newcastle. Yeah. I think
that's the tricky one.
Yeah, I mean, we might have a nailed and firing Isak by then that we can get to, or something.
This is my problem. Where if I've committed to a Salah structure,
well, yeah,
I've missed the train.
One. Yeah, because you have to swap. I suppose you could then get onto like a Salah Isak structure if you sold Haaland, but then
that would
you're
be
a bit
harder.
Stuck for. Well, I guess you got your transfers in 16 to get back to Haaland, and yeah, I feel like there's more routes where this gets a bit stuck. Even if it looks good, and your upside is that you've got Salah over Saka, which is an upgrade. I think, even though
it's not.
Even
if I look at total points,
I think like it's not loads, but I still. Some people would say that Saka's a better pick than Salah outright.
Yeah,
and I still feel like if I had no budgetary constraints, Salah's like someone I still predict to come good eventually. Even if he's not been as good so far. I mean, Saka's only just back from his injury.
Salah's one point, expected point more over the next 4 weeks than Saka.
Yeah. So that's what you're getting. So you're getting a captaincy option. Like if you were going to captain him, then you're starting to increase that gap.
Then you multiply that. I get it, but
so
that's where I am. So long story short, this is a nice draft. When I landed on this, I'm like, I've solved it. This is like discovering gravity. And by the way, this is minus 0.4, but it's not because I was a little bit lazy. I didn't update because I have got these players at cheaper prices because I've been value farming. Rodon was 4, Timber was lower, Gabriel was lower.
Sure.
So therefore, I was able to farm some value. And so I can afford this team.
You know how much buy? I assume you don't have 2 million in the bank.
This is exact.
Oh, exact. Okay, yeah, sure.
Now, I think maybe Salah could even drop before the deadline. Is there anybody else who could drop here? Not really. But this is affordable. It's not going anywhere. Our SAR also increased in price, who I got before the price increase.
Okay,
so I can afford this team.
You'll be able to afford this on Saturday morning. It's not going to be
correct.
A draft that's gone, even if people aren't buying Salah. It's not going up. Last time I checked, from nowhere. Yeah, but
so
I mean,
the only way I'm tempted by this draft is if Maresca comes on Friday, and there's 2 things around it. If he says Palmer is nearly there, because in this draft I'll probably free hit game week 11, because I don't want the Salah team. I want all
Salah
the guys
and Haaland playing each other in 11. Yeah.
So the first appeal of free hit 11 will be, I'll get Palmer for game week 11, where people won't have Palmer, right? Because a lot of people are committing to their Chelseas now. And the second appeal is then I get a clear Salah run without that away to Man City fixture in game week 11, which is actually a lot of where he's losing his EV to Saka.
Yeah, there's like an extra point or 2. Yeah.
So that's the first thing that will push me towards this draft. The second thing that will push me is if he says João Pedro still has some niggles and we have to manage him, and I'm like, you know what?
True.
I'm going to upgrade him to Calvert-Lewin and then job's done.
Who never gets any niggles ever.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he's a dead spot after 2 weeks.
No,
anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I mean, even people who have him, like his replacement is cheaper. So you can always run it. Like if he's out for a while, you can always run away to Numacha or
yes,
whatever.
that's the
who
other
would
thing.
presumably get pens off him too. So yeah, not ideal, but I think people aren't expecting the world from Calvert-Lewin. He just should play on pens, get a goal here and there, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, well, I'll be very interested to see where you land Saturday morning.
It'll be none of these 3, as we know.
Yeah, well,
but, we had a good discussion anyway.
Out of Bruno will be back in, of course. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Let's get my team up. That's not my team. That's the projections. This is my team. I don't have any money in the bank now. I bought Saka, Tielemans last week. Very sad. But I think my team looks fine. Like I've got 3 transfers. I'll read it. I've got Raya, Senesi, Lacroix, Virgil, Bruno, Saka, Ndiaye, Paqueta, Thiago, Gyökeres, Haaland. And then, I've got a bench boostable, that word, bench boostable bench, Dubravka, Stack, Diakite, Anderson. But I think I'm probably going to hold it still. I think I've kind of got this like, we're back from an international break. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if one of my guys just magically doesn't show up for some reason. Maybe I've been too scarred by that when Diakite was just not there. But I think there's plenty other routes. Like if I go to game week 9, like my bench is still good in 9, if not a little bit better. Say I sold Lacroix in 9 for someone else, so this is even a better bench in game week 9 with Dubravka, Paqueta, Anderson, and Lacroix. So it's not even my best bench of the next 2 weeks. So I don't feel the need to play it. And then if I want to play it next week because some sort of opportunity arises that one of my players gets injured and the best way to swap it out is to make my 15 even better, then I can play it. But also I'm kind of eyeing up game week 17 as a bench boost.
Right.
So I think Bournemouth and Brighton. So some Brighton guys I'd like to pick up in some point. Minter might be one of them. Have Sunderland and Burnley at home, I think, that week. So actually, like my bench players just have a lot of good projected fixtures. And it also is quite a nice way to use the 5 free transfers that they're giving us. So I can roll my transfer this week and next week, get to game week 10 with 5 transfers to either react to whatever, or we've got our double game week news, or I have something to do, or Palmer's back and I want to get to Palmer for 11, or kind of like decide when the free hit's going to go. I've played my triple captain and Wildcard. I've got free hit and bench boost left, so the free hit I think is probably going to go in 15, but it could go in 11 if Palmer's fit. There was even, I think if I ran the free hit this week it actually looked okay, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm quite happy with it.
Are you tempted by Ndiaye to Enzo?
That's the only move that's like appeared in terms of like.
That's like a clear one EV.
It's quite a big
grab this week.
Yeah, grab this week. And it's a reasonable
especially if you're
upgrade
playing him
in 9. Yeah. I mean, I could play Stack over Ndiaye. I think that's kind of one of my decisions is which of those to play. And am I going to play Dubravka over Raya? Maybe. No. I'll have that dilemma.
Especially because you don't even have Gabriel, man. Like, think of also a little bit of EO cover.
Yeah. Well, then I'm just betting on a Fulham. I'll play Anderson and he'll score, and that'll be fine.
I tried this playing Anderson against Semenyo on Friday. Didn't work out.
No points for me. Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah, because we don't have Semenyo. I was going to say no points from either. Then I remembered that Semenyo got lots of points. Yes. Not sure. So yeah, Ndiaye to Enzo is a maybe. I think with the small question mark over him, I think I was already leaning probably not. And I'm expecting we get positive news on him. But if we get, a doubt, then easy.
If it's vague, then of course
if it's vague, I'm very easily just not doing it. Because getting to game week 10 because I kind of might want Ndiaye back in game week 10 or 11 or 12. Like he's got some nice fixtures. He's not great this week specifically, but he's okay, like longer term. Until AFCON, basically. That's our top 3.
Yeah, until AFCON. Senegal has qualified.
Yeah, but I don't have any problems here. So I think getting 5 transfers in 10 is like a nice spot to be in. And then, I can like dead end 15 / set up for the bench boost in 15 before my transfers run out. Set up for bench boost 17 in 15, if that makes sense. Then free hit 16. And then I've got a team in game week 17, which I set up in 15. So instead of wildcarding to set up the bench boost, I use my free transfers dead end in 15.
So many transfers.
Free hit 16. And then I've got 5 transfers in 17 and a bench boostable team, presumably. So I've got to use at least one to fix something. And then bench boost for Christmas. Pretty much.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that's the plan. And then there's a few things I can do in sort of 10 to 12, whether it be like either I've got fires I need to fix, or we've got some fixtures I need to move around. I think there's even been a weather warning for game week 9 or something like that, so maybe that's been moved around. I don't.
You've been watching Andy Martin too much.
It was Andy Martin who posted it. Yes, he's in my head.
It's in the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah.
If you're okay, Newcastle is okay.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't even have any Newcastle players, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I think 2 weeks of just team looks good. I've got 15 playing players. Don't quite want to play the bench boost. Captain Haaland, not much to think about personally. I've properly switched off from FPL over the break because I've got a team. I've got nothing to do. I don't have a wild card or a chip to consider yet. Yeah, just wait for Enzo to hopefully be ruled out so that everyone who's bought him is stuck and I can have an easy decision. Is there anything else you do?
With that.
Is Enzo the only one?
That's the one that stuck out.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go Sar, because Sar has his tougher fixture next week, so you're not really grabbing much of potential money. Semenyo, you'll have to do 2 transfers if you wanted to, but if you're not in a wild card, you just wait for the next 3-4 weeks.
Semenyo. I can get him later. Yeah, I think Stack is one I'm probably going to want to move out.
Calvert-Lewin for
eventually.
Thiago? No, you can't do that for free.
I could do it for free. Yeah, Thiago's 6 or 6.1 now, I think. Yeah, he's cheaper.
But Thiago's fine as well, but if you wanted to play Calvert-Lewin next to, I think he's got good.
I mean, Thiago's playing West Ham this week. And then
yeah, so he's fine.
Liverpool at home the week after, but I guess I could play Paqueta, and bench Thiago. So I've got fairly strong. I've got bench options, so I can mix and match. So I think I don't think it's too much for me to do, which is a bit boring.
Nice.
No wild card for me.
Tune in next week so that JC can tell us he's rolling again.
Well, maybe I've got everyone to get injured by then. Not sure.
Excellent.
Yes.
Let's leave it there. I think
mine was a lot shorter.
What should I say? A little bit shorter. You have a fewer, a little less decisions, fewer decisions to make than me. But if you like the stream, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for the support, all of you. Even if you are, logging in, with the free version or your tier paid subscriber, we appreciate you all. Thank you for all your support. Even the people who retweet our stuff, like our stuff on X and on Blue Sky. So thank you everybody for your support. Hopefully you liked the wildcard video. Tell me in the comments which one do you like, double defense, double attack, or the Salah Haaland version. And
tell us which one you don't like as well. I don't like any of them.
Hate one. If you hate one, do let me know. And then on Saturday, I'll pick my favorite comment and then just choose that version.
Yeah. Well, you send us your wildcard teams if you want to. And Paz can just pick from there. I'm sure they'll do better.
Exactly.
Lovely. Well, best of luck with the wildcard. And see you next week.
Thank you. See you all next week. Yeah. Take care.